gonna listen, you're gonna hear it right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Gonzales Unified School District Board of Governance General Meeting for Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. My name is Jose Lopez. I am the board president, and we are calling this meeting at 5:33 p.m. Can we get roll call, please?
Okay, roll call is trustee Lopez,
Present.
trustee Cuevas. She is probably trying to access her.
And our board member Cuevas is joining us virtually. She's located at 719 Hereford Drive, Gonzales, California, 93926.
Trustee Flores,
Here.
trustee Ayon,
Present.
and trustee Daniel.
Here.
Thank you. Can I get welcome guests? Welcome, Dan, our attorney's here with us tonight. Welcome to all the people in the audience. Welcome to our Gonzales Unified School District Board of Governance meeting. I'm gonna, at this time, since our clerk is not with us, I'm gonna invite our Ms. Flores, if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. May we all stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Action number 5 is approval of agenda. Can I get a motion for the approval of the agenda, please?
So moved. Daniel?
Second by Ms. Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. Did you have something, Maria, to say?
She is,
Is she on? Can
she
you-
is, and she will need to
Okay.
hang
sounds
tight
good.
just a little bit longer.
All right, sounds good. Okay, moving on to item number 6, approval of minutes. 6.1, approval of minutes. May I get a motion, please?
So move, Araceli.
Second by,
Second, Daniel?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. Moving on to number 7, closed session topics. There are 2 topics during the closed session that we're going to be discussing. They are 7.1, public employee appointment, employment government code section 54957, and 7.2, conference with labor negotiator, agency representative, superintendent, unrepresented employees, classified management, certificated management, pupil support services, and administrative certificated employees, government section code 54957.6. So do we have any public comments for closed session?
Yes, we do have a public comment for closed session.
We do.
It's right.
Oh,
the yellow
right
card.
here. Sorry. Can I have Ms. Luisa Garcia, please? It's on, but if you don't mind removing your mask, that'd be great. Great. Awesome. Yes. Mhm. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have any additional public comments in regards to the closed session? Well, thank you so much. At this time, we're going to go ahead and adjourn to closed session. So give us about 30 minutes, right? 50 minutes, and then we're going to report back out. So you're welcome to wait for us outside. There's benches and chairs out there for you to wait. There are some extra seats on the back of us too, if you want. There's a couch there too by the door, so. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Are we ready? Monica? For those of you that need translation services, we do have a translator here with us on site. You just need to pick up your little translation device. Muy bien. All right, thank you all and welcome back.
Hold on, let me push play.
Here we go. Hi, and welcome again. We are reporting out of closed session. At this time, there are no action to be taken from our closed session. Moving on to item number 11, public comments. At this time, members of the public may address the board on topics that are under the jurisdiction of the board. For public comments on items not on the agenda, the board may not discuss or take action during this meeting. Comments from the public shall be limited to 3 minutes on any topic. The board may limit the total time for public input on any topic to 20 minutes unless it chooses to waive the item limit for a particular item. So do we have any public comments, Monica?
I do not have any public
How
comment.
about, do we have any public comments here tonight? Oh, yes, we do have one. Thank you. And may I invite you directly to the podium there, please? This is your name, sir?
My name's Gabe Almader,
Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Amador.
A. And I just wanted to give a quick update, something positive. We started our golf program here at Gonzales High School. And the generosity of the golf community, it's showing. So we had a chance to take kids to Pebble Beach on Saturday for the first tee open, the Pure Championship, which was actually won by a girl from Monterey County, which is pretty cool. We left here in the morning Saturday. We drove to Salinas. When we get there, the first tee had a bus waiting for us. They take our kids into the lobby. They have racks of brand new clothes. Told our kids, take what you need, sweaters, jackets, shirts. Gave them an ice chest with snacks, little first tee ice chest. We hit some balls, we putted. Then they drove us to Pebble Beach for the tournament. And instead of driving us to the equestrian center, where usually the buses park, they drove us right up to the lodge. So we got off, they walked us through the lodge, which they don't normally do. And we watched the tournament. We watched the young lady she goes to RLS, but she paid her dues. She went to the first tee since she was 6, and that's in Salinas. So she was driving from RLS, Pebble Beach to Salinas every Saturday. Even in COVID, she was online, and it paid off. She won the tournament in the junior section. So then when we got back from Pebble, we went back to Salinas, and Fidencio Cuevas and I turn around. Where are the kids? They're back on the driving range. They want to hit more balls. So the seed has been planted. And the first tee sent me a letter. They're also inviting our students to sign up to be members of the first tee. It's $120 a year. They're waiving all costs for our kids. So right now there's around 20. That's $2,400. And those kids will now they can play the course at Salinas for $2. They can get a basket of balls, which is normally $10 for $2. So they're really supporting us. So we have the momentum and we're just trying to keep it going. And that's it. Any questions? Or
Thank you.
is it the time?
Board members, any questions? No? Thank you so much, Ms. Great,
Mr. A.
thank you. Oh, great,
you.
yeah. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Amador. Awesome. Any other public comments? No? All right, moving on to item number 14, communications, Gonzales Teachers Association, GTA report.
comments
Is that is that agenda?
No.
Is
these
that-
are the
oh.
ones you passed out.
Oh, yes. Can we do those? Yes, I'm sorry. We're gonna go back to public comments. We do have two public comments.
This was from Danielle Case, and I believe this one was from last board meeting, but it didn't meet the time.
We're gonna read it
So we're
today.
gonna go ahead and read it. Dear board members, I am concerned about the health and safety of my students and myself. Though MOT has been telling administration that they are sanitizing and fogging classrooms each night, they are not. In the 6 weeks since we have been in school, my room has only been fogged once. And that was when I had a COVID case in my classroom. This occurred during the school day when my administration asked them to come to my class and fog it at night when they claimed they fogged it. I know when my classroom is fogged because the papers left on the tables curl at the corners due to the moisture of the fogger. This happened often last April and May when we came back to school last year. However, this school year, it has never happened. Sanitizing frequently touched places such as door handles and light switches is not taking place. I have never seen anyone sanitizing anything this year. It is ridiculous. I have to even write this email considering it has been 6 weeks and this has not been handled. When teachers emailed MOT and asked how the rooms were being cleaned, they were told it would be discussed at the board meeting. Why couldn't they answer simple questions through an email? Teachers should not need to attend a board meeting to hear how classrooms are being cleaned. MOT refused to answer questions because they know they have been caught in lies. I understand the janitor is doing the best he can and they must not have the time to fog each room. If that is the case, it is up to the district to hire another janitor. MOT knows classrooms are not being disinfected or fogged nightly, and sometimes they don't even vacuum. This directly violates LCAP Goal 1, maintaining safe and clean school facilities. The district has the money to hire someone else, but clearly does not prioritize students and teachers' safety during a pandemic. I have told my administration and Yvette that these sanitation practices are not taking place, and I am now emailing you. I refuse to sit idly by as parents and staff are being told lies that impact the safety of our students and ourselves. Danielle Case, first grade teacher.
Thank you. The next public comment is Cesar gonna do us the honors of reading it. Please.
Thank you. This public comment is from Ms. Mancera Calderon, and she writes, "Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin by commending the HR department and making sure our children have substitute teachers when their teacher is unable to teach. As a parent and educator, I understand how vital a guest teacher is to ensuring our children's daily instruction is structured and uninterrupted. Again, thank you, GUSD HR team and district in general. As a parent and adult, I pride myself in knowing that I genuinely care for my own children and those in our community. I try to do my part and help at my kiddos' schools and with the district in any way I and my family can. I believe that what I and my family practice, the gift of giving, is not unique to my own family life. For I strongly believe it is the Gonzales way, small town, big heart. I also believe
Sorry.
It's time.
and see that,
You can go continue.
oh, that's 3 minutes, right?
No, was it? Yes,
The previous time.
it was a previous. So you still have another minute and a half.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I will continue. I also believe and see that the GUSD staff and also believes and exemplifies the Gonzales way. Take, for instance, it's 6:30 p.m. and you're having dinner when you receive a text message from a parent. Your first instinct is to continue to enjoy your spouse's delicious food in the company of yours when you take a second glance. Nope, you decide to take the message and respond to the parent with a call. This message merits a call ASAP. Mr. Malagon did just that. He continuously keeps our children safe and makes notice about the recent social media challenges happening on his campus and other safety issues at hand. Thank you, Mr. Malagon, Malagon family, and the FMS team for your genuine concern for our children. Now it's 6 p.m. and you just finished counting votes for site council elections at La Gloria Elementary. You and your colleague have worked arduously to make sure those ballots are counted and accounted for each member of the La Gloria parents. You are entering your home when suddenly your boys make circles around you with a gracious smile. That's mine.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's almost done, so.
Thank you, Ms. Arely Mancera Calderon. All right, any other public comments? Being none, we're gonna go ahead and resume on number 14, communications. The first one is Gonzales Teachers Association GTA report, Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, GUSD board and members, board members and the superintendent. I'm here to give my GTA report. GTA hosted a back to school social last week and it was a success. Again, we saw a lot of our new members there. We've also added 3 new members to GTA, so that's a good sign because that means that our district is hiring teachers.
Good.
Unfortunately, our members voted not to ratify the ISMOU. We will be going back to the table hopefully this week or next week to find something that both sides can agree on. And that concludes my GTA report.
Thank you. Thank you for, good to see you. All right, great. Moving on to California School Employees Association, CSCA report. And do we have the? Oh, acá está. Buenas tardes. Yes. Buenas tardes. Oh, en inglés si se puede, por favor. Bueno, en la lengua que usted quiera, entonces.
Good afternoon, board members. Good afternoon, Miss Irvin. I just have a little report. I have my first meeting with the superintendent. It went very well. Thank you, Miss Irvin, for the good communication that we have that day with the meeting. And I just looking forward to meet with the board. This is the second month. I'm waiting. Just kidding. But I keep supporting my members and I'm here and you guys let me know when you guys want to meet with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Okay, moving on to 14.3, student board members.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Holly Betancourt, and I just wanted to come up here and talk about a little bit about what's going on in school. So we've been in school for like around 6 weeks already, and everything's been going good. It feels good to be in person. And on September 10th, me and Andrew were able to put up a booth for Suicide Prevention Month. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and we were able to hand out ribbons, and I made little cards and all that. And that's pretty much all of that's happened like so far this month. But homecoming's happening next week. We're excited working on that. We're working on floats, and since our senior year, it's our last year, and we're gonna make it memorable. But that's it.
Did you get enough the flatbeds for the floats? Do you have enough?
Yeah, we have we're
got
like,
everything
because
sorted?
everything's due next week, so like we're already like painting stuff, putting
Okay,
props
good.
together, doing all that.
What's the theme?
Am I allowed to say that? It's decades. Each class has their own decade. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. 14.4, Gonzales Youth Council, Youth Commissioners.
Let me see if you're-
Welcome.
Hi, okay, so just gonna update you guys on a couple things that GYC has been doing. By this Thursday, me and the other youth commissioners should have all of our interviews completed. And then by the 4th, we're gonna be informing everyone of their selection. And then on October 9th, we're gonna have our orientation. On the 7th, we're gonna start planning the orientation. And that's all.
Thank you. Thank you for the update. Great. Moving along to La Gloria Elementary School report.
Good evening, school board, superintendent. Looking at parents and some opportunities we have for parents, we formed a steering committee. We're reinventing our PTA, PTCA. So we have a parent meeting next week, October 5th, where we're getting our steering committee together and putting together a brand new PTA. And if it's any indication of the ballots and the nominations that we had for school site council, we had over 150 nominations for over, I think 50 different individuals to be on our school site council. So we've tabulated all those, and our first meeting's next Tuesday. We're going to be contacting them tomorrow. So that's the most we've had since I've been there, and we're very happy about that. And Friday, we have our assembly. So if you want to come out and and do the Bulldog Pledge and say the Pledge of Allegiance and participate with the kids. That'll be this Friday at 8:15. We'll start that. And then we have Thursday Cafecito. So we're looking for a good turnout there as well. So it's kind of a great year for parent involvement. We're off to a great start, and we just want to build upon that momentum.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a
Mr.
question?
Chairman?
No? Okay. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Moving up, it's Fairview Middle School report. Malagón, buenas tardes.
Good evening, buenas tardes. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Urban. Good evening, colleagues, and everybody at home. Good evening. Miguel Malagón, Principal of Fairview Middle School, and I'm here to do the report on Fairview Middle School. Things are going well so far. We sent the progress report. We are happy to report that they're looking very different than they looked last year when we were in distance learning. So it's a positive change, and we are excited about that. And we will continue working to make sure that number of Fs decrease. But it's overall it's a positive feeling. Fairview Middle School is holding a book fair this week. So our kiddos are going to the library and purchasing books and posters and all that good stuff that they sell there. So please go out there and support our Warriors on that. When it comes to sports, soccer and boys soccer and girls volleyball are going on strong. We had 2 games already, and our families have been very supportive. We filled our gym in our first game, and yesterday we went to visit Soledad, and it was amazing how many family members we had from Gonzales. So good job for that. Our 4.0 Academy is also going on Saturdays, and we still have room. So for all of our parents out there, if please encourage our students to participate on that. An announcement for all the students at home. ASB is going to be taking part of Fairview Middle School. We're going to organize our ASB, and we are looking for nominations for our students. So please look out for your email, because you will be getting an opportunity to nominate yourself or nominate somebody for ASB. Another committee that we are in the process of forming is PBIS, and positive behavioral intervention. That's something that is coming up as well as PTA. So any parents out there that would like to be part of the PTA, please let me know, and we will definitely get you into the PTA opportunity. And I just want to thank all the parents out there for the support that I received when it comes to the TikTok challenges. I did make a communication to them, and right away I got emails back assuring me that those conversations were happening at home. So thank you very much for that. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much
had
for
one
your
quick
update.
question, Mr. Malagon, for the book fair with the funds. Have you decided what is going to be done with the funds? Is it going to the library? Are you buying books for the library, or is it?
It is going to go to the library specifically for books.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Gonzales High School report. Mr. Ocampo, welcome.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and community at large, and those on the internet. Miguel Ocampo, assistant principal. Couple things I want to report out today. So first of all, after-school tutorial. We've started our after-school tutorial program. As of right now, we have about 4 classes set up, with the 5th one coming online. That would be an Apex for students who need to continue their credit recovery. We have approximately 60 students and growing. So Ms. Lesser, Mr. Carlson, Ms. Rodriguez, and our ETS partners are the ones that we currently have right now after school. In terms of classes, just an update on where we are with some of our AP and our dual enrollment courses. We currently have 4 advanced placement courses, 2 in English with Ms. Asher, 1 in Spanish with Mr. Ledesma, and we have a U.S. history with Ms. Asher. I'm sorry, Ms. Lesser. Apologies. We have about 120 students enrolled in our Apex program throughout the day. That's 5 periods with Ms. Roque. And we have 3 dual enrollment courses this semester, I should say. Theater Art 5, History 5A, and 17, History 17A. So next semester, those will roll into semester 2 courses, and the students in those classes will be earning college credit along with high school credit. As Holly had mentioned, we have homecoming week. So Monday, October 4th, we have our night rally, 6 to 8 p.m. at the high school gym. Wednesday, October 6th is our homecoming parade. It'll begin in Spartan Alley. That's going to be a minimum day. Friday, October 8th is our football game against North Salinas High School. Saturday is going to be our homecoming dance at October 9th from 7 to 11. So in terms of teacher hiring, we're excited to report that we're on board to be at almost 100% in terms of hiring teachers on environmental science. We had a teacher who accepted the position, but unfortunately resigned the following day. So we will be looking at hiring an environmental science teacher, and we need a SPED teacher who we are actively recruiting. We do have a social science teacher who's going to be starting October 4th. And in other classes such as physics, we have long-term subs along with SPED as well. Sports and other news. Tennis and volleyball undefeated. So congratulations to those student athletes, those scholar athletes. Golf, Mr. Almadir was here talking a little bit about his program. So he did take approximately 20 students out to Pebble Beach. Was a great experience for them. And we will be posting some pictures online sometime tonight. So if you check tonight or tomorrow morning, you'll see some of our slideshow pictures. And that's pretty much what I got.
Thank you. Thank you for your report.
I had a question. So you said we have the 2 positions open in environmental science and SPED. The long-term subs, how many long-term subs do we have?
Right now, we have a long-term sub in SPED, and we had a long-term sub in environmental science. However, she moved to physics because we had made a recommendation to hire for that environmental science position.
So physics, SPED.
Yeah, just those, physics and SPED, social science, but that full-time teacher starting on Monday.
So 4 total.
3 total.
You said SPED, physics, environmental science, and SPED?
Correct,
So-
4 total.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. All right, moving on to 14.8, superintendent's report.
I believe it's being opened up as we speak.
Sorry that you guys have to see all this.
No
I
problem.
do apologize.
So piggybacking on GHS's report, what you will see on my second and third slide is a topic called communications. I wanted the community to be aware, specifically parents of students from grades 10 through 12, that they will be receiving a letter from myself and Mr. Soriano advising them of their students' progress right now at the high school. So earlier this school year, the legislature in Sacramento passed what is referred to as AB 104. And that enabled districts to change a grade that was given at high school to a pass, no pass grade. There is a list of universities, most of them are CSUs and UCs, that are in an agreement with the Department of Education to accept those pass, no pass grades with no prejudice. I've included an example of what the transcript will look like if there are areas that pertain to students and parents. Some parents will receive a transcript with no highlights. What that means is that their student is on track for graduation, as well as the ability to apply.
They can't hear you online.
Okay, so once again, we're starting with communications and communications specifically to GHS and parents and students in grades 10 through 12. Next week, you will be receiving a letter from myself and Mr. Soriano. Having reviewed over 650 transcripts, we are writing to advise both students and parents of their progress towards graduation and the ability to apply to a four-year college. Included in the transcript are 2 highlights. If a parent and student receive a letter that has no highlights, that means that the student is on track both for graduation as well as for the ability to apply to four-year universities, California State Universities, UC universities. AB 104, which was passed this summer, allows the district to change the grades from the school year 2020 to 2021
that to a pass, no pass grade with no prejudice in terms of students applying and being accepted to four-year colleges here within California. If you are receiving a transcript and you see a pink highlight, that is an indication that you should in fact reach out to your academic counselor or the administrative team at GHS. Those pink highlights reflect either a class that received a D and therefore makes a student ineligible to apply to a four-year university, and also our F grades. F grades are very important, and it's articulated in the letter going home that F grades are units that need to be repeated, and they need to be repeated in order to get the student back on track for graduation from Gonzales High School. So I want to make sure that both parents and students are on the lookout for this, and that the school itself is ready to work to answer any questions and in fact change grades that are requested. The application form is included in the envelope. As we continue, this evening, the board heard comment from Ms. Danielle Case, which was intended to be read last week. Today, myself, the director of MOT, Trini Zafala, the administrative team from La Gloria, as well as Ms. Case and Ms. Ayala, met with us to discuss, and if we can continue, met with us to discuss some of the questions and concerns she had, as well as to address some inaccuracies in terms of information that's been out there. As always, you will see that the slides are live linked. So when they are posted under superintendent's reports on our website, any parent or staff member can double click and it will take you to our COVID-19 resources page. It's important to understand that the word protocols has been used repeatedly, but in fact, the district is following strict guidelines that come from MCOE, the Monterey County Office of Education, who is working with districts and Monterey County Public Health, as well as the California Department of Public Health. What you see in front of you are 7 areas identified for all schools in the state of California as we're coming back this year. And it talks about things that our community is aware of, the importance of vaccines, the expectation that everyone is wearing masks, hand hygiene, contact tracing, etc. This, once again, is listed on our website under COVID-19 resources. It's available to our leadership team for use at the site with school site councils and school leadership team at the site. When we continue, you'll also see an example of the document that I referred to as we scroll up. That is one of the previous protocols, or better said, reports that the district has completed for the state. This was the one that we completed in March. You'll see detailed information at that time in terms of cleaning and sanitation processes. It also talks about areas of frequent touch. It has information specifically regarding academic program. That plan still exists on our website, but it is now evolved in what is called the Safe Return to School Instruction Plan. And that will be shown on the next slide. Once again, live linked. This plan is in draft form. While it is posted on our website, it's in draft form because our site administrators and department directors are going back to staff to review it and to take any input or clarifying questions that we will need to revise. And once the final revision is done, the draft will be taken off and it will remain posted and accessible to all community and staff members. The next slide is also posted and also available to all staff, community members, and it is provided to us by the Department of Public Health at the state level. We've had questions regarding how decisions are made in terms of who quarantines and for how long, or when a student or staff person is put out on quarantine. It needs to be repeated often that what we had become accustomed to last school year is no longer in effect. The California Department of Education is very clear in terms of the research supporting a longer, the opportunity for classrooms to remain intact, and students and staff who have been masked, and in fact, staff or our secondary students who have been vaccinated, it is not an automatic default to quarantine at home. And so this visual flow chart hopefully will also help to clarify any questions that staff and our community have in terms of how decisions are made. This, in conjunction with the flow chart, or I need to clarify, it's not a flow chart, it's actually an organizer from the County Office of Education, is what all leadership team members follow in terms of decisions as to when a staff person or a student is sent home, when a cohort of students and parents are notified, and what they're notified of. At this point in time, we have not had an outbreak per definition of CDPH and MCPH. What also needs to be repeated is that we've had questions raised as to why we don't shut down a classroom or why we don't shut down a school. In fact, any shutdown of that nature would be made in consultation with the county health department. And as of this point, there has been no situation which has warranted that within our district. Using September as an example, we have had 10 positive student cases identified, distributed through the 3 sites. And we have well, I won't say how many staff. I'm aware of one, the most recent this past week, but we have had limited staff test positive, and that's directly related to the amount of staff that we have vaccinated. So with that, I believe that concludes, forgive me. You will see the previous slide is specific to student, and the next slide is specific to employees. It's differentiated by stakeholder group. And with that, I believe that's the last slide, and that concludes my superintendent's report for this evening.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Cesar?
Yes, thank you. I've been asked from parents, what is the protocol for when a child in my child's class tests positive, when the teacher in that class tests positive? Maybe I should have seen that document before, but it's just the first time. Can you just go over real quick, just for the public, what does happen when a child tests positive in a classroom, and or the teacher?
So with a student who tests positive, they are automatically, once we find out, they're automatically removed from the classroom, and each site has an isolation area. And the parent would come to pick up the child, assuming they sent them knowing that they were COVID positive. But in fact, we've received most notifications from parents calling in. The children that are in direct proximity of that child, we go through making sure that they were masked, that not only the child that tested positive, but the children around them were masked. We send out a notification, and depending on the proximity and the length of time of proximity of those children, we may in fact ask students to stay home, or they can participate in a modified quarantine where the parent is advised of the situation and asked to test the child at different intervals. It's also slightly different if we have that happen at GHS, because we have a growing number of our high school students that are vaccinated. And so vaccinated and mass reduces the probability that there would have been any communication or contamination. The room itself is brought to the attention of MOT. MOT goes in and cleans and sanitizes. If it's an employee, the employee themselves will be sent home or will stay at home. We will not disperse the class. If at all possible, we'll bring in a sub. And parents are advised of that. Parents are once again reminded just to monitor their children. And they're also reminded that we have testing availability here in Gonzales now 4 days a week between the district and the city.
So when the kid tests positive, do they quarantine and for how long?
So if the child tests positive, right now, the quarantine number is 10, down from 14. And in fact, based on updated information, the length of quarantine may in fact be reduced once again. It may go down to 7.
Is that the same for a staff member? The
Yes,
number of days?
yes. We also ask that if a test comes back positive and it's a rapid test, that the parent of the child and or the staff person go back and get a PCR test. Because we are using rapid tests basically to rule out. But if in fact it comes back positive, then we would ask for the student or the staff person to take a PCR test, which is a little more accurate in terms of identification.
And the tests that we offer, are they just rapid tests? And
The rapid test, BinaX.
and for a parent or a child to take a PCR test, what would they have to do? Go to LabCorp, or is that offered here in town?
So we have availability here within the community.
At Gonzales Pharmacy, or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
My question with the notification, because I've gotten that question, is my child goes to school at the high school and so-and-so sibling tested. How is that being handled as far as, if the sibling is at the high school and the positive case was at La Gloria, how are we handling? Is the sibling still being allowed to come to school? Is the whole family being quarantined? That was the question that I got from a family.
So the communication occurs between the sites, and if we have a positive case, we will notify the other sites and in fact ask for the child to be kept home until it's established that they're not positive. Oftentimes it results in a quarantine because siblings tend to have proximity without masks. But everything is on a case-by-case basis.
Colleague, do you have? Oh, sorry. Was it? Sorry. Just, I'm sorry. I took notes, but I forgot. AB 104, just so the public can really understand this. So in grades 10 to 12, if your child has a D or an F, then the district can do a pass, no pass for
Correct.
those classes.
Correct.
Which one's going to be the pass and no pass? How is that going to be determined?
So the pass would be the D based on our graduation requirements, and the no pass would be the F. But the reason we're sending a personalized communication, because AB 104 theoretically has closed, but when Mr. Soriano and I reviewed each individual transcript, we obviously have more kids that could benefit from this. And so that's why the family will receive the transcript, the highlighted areas where they can change the grade, as well as the application form that needs to be returned to the school to enable us to do that.
If a child receives a D and hence a no pass, they would still have to retake the class, correct?
No pass is not a D. Per our graduation plan.
I'm
a
sorry,
D is
I meant to say an F. If a child receives an F and hence a no pass, they would still be required to.
That's correct, because they would not receive credits, the credits needed for the graduation track.
And just the last thing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, and I need to acknowledge, Mr. Ione, that you had asked for me to report out on the progress report grades from the high school. They're not yet finalized in the system. I went in today, and we're still working on finalizing.
Thank you. And then the last thing, you said that if a child receives a pass or no pass, that the ability for them to apply to a CSU or a UC would not be affected.
Correct.
Is that even if they receive a no pass then? Because what would be affected is their ability to graduate potentially if
Correct.
they don't earn enough.
They wouldn't have those credits reflected in terms of their application to the 4-year.
Okay.
But what I do need to emphasize is a no pass is different than an F. And so that's why we want to emphasize that option with our parents and students.
It's different, but they would still have to retake that class.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Flores? Thank you, Superintendent, for your report.
I have a question. Yes,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
in regards,
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
thank you. In regards to the transcripts, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, in regards to the transcript, the NA in there, some students have an NA.
So NA would result in no credits awarded. We also have transcripts that reflect an NC, no, or NG, forgive me, no grade. Those also would not have credits awarded. So those would be classes that students would need to make up.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
And I apologize, but one other thing that the letter will remind parents of, our district, as per board direction, has put an enormous amount of money into interventions. We have our GPA 4.0, which is our Saturday program. If a student attended every GPA 4.0 for one semester, they would make up 5 units. They'd make up a single class. We offer the hub, which is after-school tutoring at our high school. We are already planning on another year of a robust summer school. We have Apex classes that students can take online. So we have multiple venues in which students can retake classes and make up those credits. It's a matter of parents, students working together with our academic counselors and administrative team.
Can you include that in
Okay.
the letter to them?
It is included in the letter.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have another question in regards to that. So if it's an NA because we have a sub in there, are the subs able to give a grade? Because that was one of the comments was that because, well, one of the parents who brought this up to me was because their child has 3 subs. They have an NA.
So the sub themselves cannot give a grade because they are not a teacher of record, but the administrative staff will work to make sure each of those students receive a final grade in those classes.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And they're listening in, so you answered for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cuevas.
So I'm sorry, just the very last thing, I promise. So basically, every 10th through 12th grader, if you have a D or an F, your transcript is going to change. It's going to turn into either a pass or a no pass.
No, that's incorrect.
Okay, that's why I'm
The
trying to clarify.
application is included with the letter, the transcript, and the list of colleges. Parents need to complete the application listing the classes in which they are requesting the grade change.
Thank you. And that's very important because of course,
They
it's
have
not
to do the work.
automatic. The parents need to make this request.
Yeah,
That's
they
correct.
have to do the work.
Okay,
not reciprocated to out-of-state schools.
okay, thank you.
Holly, if I can ask me, if you can share this information with your peers, that way they're informed as well, please. Thank you. All right, moving on to action, item number 15, action items, 15.1. And we do have a public comment on 15.1. So it's approval of a 2.5% pay increase to classified management confidential salary schedule retroactive to July 1st, 2020. Can I get a motion, please?
Move.
Oh, we do have a public comment, right? Yeah, can I get public comment? This is from Daniel Nava. Mr. Nava?
David.
Oh,
Nava.
David, sorry. I can't read now. David. Yes, please, go ahead.
keep me a little short, so. Good evening, board members, superintendent, colleagues, families. It's kind of hard to talk. I got 3 minutes, right? So I'm new to this. I've attended maybe 2 or 3 board meetings, and most of the time I'm just an observer. But this touches my heart. The people you see here next to me, they are real people with real families. They're not people you just dismiss. I teach my team that we don't dismiss anybody, not a student, not a parent, or a colleague. This is not a matter of money or percentages. It's about the team environment that we teach. That if the team wins, we all win, whether you play good or bad. It's the perception of dismissing others because you don't agree with the way they play or they perform. And I agree, there's a time and place for that. I just don't think it should be in a venue where it's exposing the family, the community. They deserve better. We deserve better. I was pretty upset, not with any one board member. I was upset with the way we process things. And I think as a father, when my son told me that he wasn't happy with me because when he needed me, I wasn't there, but he was proud of me because he felt that what I did had a purpose, that I'm here for the right reason. When I missed my daughter's volleyball games, that hurt me because I have not seen one game until she played here. She came to play the kids I work with, my family. So I was split. But I just want to share my humble opinion with you. I think it's important that we look into our hearts and understand that what we do is our passion. This is what we pursue. And we never put our badge down. When I get the call at 11:30 at night because a kid wants to do harm, I don't say I can wait. I act. Because that's the right thing to do. All I ask is find in your heart and realize that we have feelings as well. We all do. And we might not agree with each other, but we are family. We need to talk it out the right way. And all I ask is just, be mindful of the words you use because they do hurt. Like I said, I was upset, not with you, but what I was going to say. Because what I say has meaning and it impacts many. With that said, thank you for your time, board members and colleagues and superintendent, families. Thank you for listening. And I'm here to serve the community, the families, and our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nava. Do you have any other public comments in regards to this item? Okay. Bring it back to, can I get a motion from?
So moved, Araceli.
I have a quick question, just for clarification. There are positions in here that will benefit from a salary increase that have not been hired, correct?
That's correct. We have vacant positions.
So it's been moved by Ms. Flores, second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor?
Are we gonna have discussion or?
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Tessa. What's your question?
Yeah. It is very difficult to address this topic. I understand, I really do understand that we are, we're not just talking about numbers here, right? We're talking about people, we're talking about families. Of course we are, right? We are also talking about kids and their families and their education, right? So I hope that people don't think that I'm trying to minimize anyone because at the end of the day, we're here so that we can give the best opportunities to our kids. That's it, right? That's why every single person here is here. That's why we're here, How we go about that is sometimes different, right? In style and maybe in priority. And for me, personally, I just want to say that if I gave the perception that I don't value anyone that's in these salary schedules, I apologize. That is not what my intention was. That's not, I probably misspoke if I gave that impression. I really do apologize. What I was trying to say, maybe I can say it a little bit better this time, is basically that I don't believe, sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. I want to say it right. I'm not saying that these positions should not get a salary increase ever at all. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm talking about is just timing. That's it, timing. I know that everybody here works hard. I do know that, and I appreciate that. But for me, what I'm kind of fighting with, and it's my, struggle is to say, well, okay, I understand that, of course, we should compensate our employees, all our employees, right? But does that supersede, or how about when there's a need in a classroom, right? And some folks say, well, you shouldn't, that has nothing to do with the need, has nothing to do with compensation. The way I look at it is, in college I was economics minor, and they talk about zero-sum games. And what that means is, say that there's a pie and there's 12 pieces of that pie. You take 2 pieces, there's only 10 pieces left, right? There used to be 12, but there's only 10 left, right? And so when we spend money in one area, are we making sure that another area is also funded, right? Because if it's not, and as an example, a lot of folks, we had a lot of public comments about kinder rates, right, at the last board meeting. And a lot of teachers are saying, hey, I need help. These kids, they've never been in school. They've only been online. So they don't know the socialization part, and I need help. And I understand that the classes are a little bit smaller than the normal classes. But, when a teacher needs help in a class, that to me is very personal because I've been in that situation when I've been a sub, and, there's only 3 or 4 kids, but 3 or 4 kids that are difficult can really ruin the class for every single kid in that class, right? And I've been in classes where that happens, and there is a teacher aide, and I see the value in them, that, wow, the fact that there's a teacher aide in here, that's helping me, manage the class. That's helping every other kid here learn more. And so I hope I'm not going around in circles, but what I believe is that, we really do need to talk about, should we spend this money right now, or do we meet the need that I believe does exist in certain classes, in certain sites? Can we better focus this money at that right now? And, maybe we can bring this up once that need is met. And it's not an empty promise. It's not like, hey, that's never going to happen. I really hope that's not the case. I do see a need, especially with learning loss. I think it's great that we're having after school tutoring, 4.0 Academy, Apex, we need a lot more. We need a lot more of that, in my opinion. We need a lot more supporting classes. And that's that's what's going on with me. Those are my thoughts on that topic.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala.
Yeah.
So I do have very similar dilemma that, like Cesar said, this is still weighing on me here right now, just, and in no means would I ever say I value every person at management level. But what it comes down to for me sometimes is, okay, what are we doing? And I've Yvette's heard this from me. Okay, every dollar we don't spend in the classroom is taking away money from our students, and I've seen the need for books and more counseling staff and campus supervision and programs, and that weighs on my mind at night too. What are we doing? Where are we missing the step that we need to bring in these resources and the staff for our students? And I, and that's why I asked for the clarifying question, because we do have positions on here that are benefiting, and for lack of a better word, from, a pay raise that haven't been there. Am I saying that you don't deserve it? No, I'm in no way, shape, or form am I saying anybody at management level does not deserve it. But I also have to think about why I am here, and that is for the students. And so this is why it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I will tell you that.
Thank you. Ms. Flores?
Well, I'm just, stand in the same position that I stood on last board meeting, and so everybody can go ahead and view that on YouTube. I have a lot of opinions about how we resource money for students and how we honor our staff, and how we provide resources to our students should not be, in my opinion, on a decision made that people were already kind of expecting. And so there are ways we can service our kids and provide them the resources. I don't necessarily agree that this is, whatever this conversation is, there are ways we can support our students and our teachers in the classroom, and also make sure that we are supporting our administrative and management team. And so, but I stand firmly on what I said last time, and we don't need to get into it anymore, in my opinion.
Thank you. Ms. Cuevas, do you have any additional comments?
Yes, so I just want to thank my fellow board members for giving me the opportunity to have and listen, have a conversation and listen to everyone's opinions. And that was my reasoning for tabling last board meeting. I feel like we really needed to just have that conversation, and I'm ready to vote.
Thank you. And I just want to quickly just, thank all our leaders, all our unrepresented employees that work for the education of each one of our students. Without your leadership, it would be impossible for us as an elected body to get that mission accomplished. So on behalf of, all of us, I thank you for your leadership, for your willingness to endure, a lot. I know it takes a lot to be a leader in not just our district, but in these days and throughout education. So, and just know that, we all do it for the kids. You do it for each one of the kids that you are committed to saying yes every day when you come and work here in our district. So on behalf of them and our families, I thank you for the work that you do, and the joy and smiles and, commitment that you bring to your work every day. So thank you. With that said, so we do have a motion that's been moved by Ms. Flores, and I've seconded it. So now we're gonna go ahead and vote on it. So can I get a call?
Roll call. Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Trustee Cuevas,
Yes.
Trustee Flores,
Yes.
Trustee Ayon,
Yes.
Trustee Daniel.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 15.2, approval of a 2.5 pay increase to the administrative certificated salary schedule retroactive July 1st, 2020. Can I get a motion, please?
So move, Araceli.
Second,
by Mr.
Cuevas.
Is that you, Maria?
Yes, sir.
Okay, second by Ms. Cuevas.
Discussion?
Any discussion? Go ahead.
I hope that everybody here, I think, understands how difficult this decision was. And it's not because we don't value you. It's because I truly do see a need at our sites. I see a need in the classroom that I don't believe right now is fully addressed. That's in my opinion, right? How we go about addressing that, I'm not saying this is the solution, but I hope that it does get addressed, right? I hope that those kids in kinder and pre-K are having the help that they need. If that includes a couple of extra teacher aides, I hope that we can find the money, because in the big scheme of things, This was 200,000, 213,000, which is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in a $37 million budget. So, it's not, I understand it's, you guys are not here for the money. You guys, it's 8 o'clock. I mean, you could be doing other things. I understand that. And you're committed to our kids, right? I'm committed to our kids as well, right? I really do hope that as a result of this conversation, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation, because we haven't had it. We haven't had it, right? That, how we spend money, I think is very, very important, right? And I hope that you guys didn't take it as a personal insult. I really do hope that's not the case. If that was, I truly do apologize. That was not my intention, right? My intention was to highlight the need that there is in the classrooms that I see at the sites. That was my intention. And if I did something else, I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Ayon. Ms. Daniel?
No, like I said, this is not, there was wait on me since last board meeting regarding that. And like I said, it's not about the value. I just see areas where, more counseling staff that we need, at both, La Gloria, the high school, and Fairview for our students for academic needs, because having to go, listening to Yvette's report, having her and Jared go through all those things, well, if we had more counseling staff, then that's something that could have been directed at counseling staff, but we only have 2 counselors at the high school. We only have 1 at Fairview. And I don't think that our students are being serviced in the best way. Now, in the grand scheme of things, like Cesar said, 200,000, yeah, that's probably nothing. However, could it have gotten us another counselor? Possibly. Is that something we need to look at? Yes, I'm willing to stand on the promise that was there. It's just, it's really not an easy one as a parent. And having worked at this school, seeing the need that's there, it's really difficult.
Thank you. Ms. Flores?
I just, in regards to this specific group right here, I've been to La Gloria, I've had kids there, and my kids are not at Fairview. And so I just want to congratulate everybody here, because I know the work that goes into doing the job that you're doing, especially in the last year. Everybody's really pulled through to support each other. And I think that's really important, because at the end of the day, you guys doing what you do, at the end of the day, supports the students. So I think that's really important. It's also kind of like the behind the scenes work, which isn't really seen in the public eye as much. And I think that's something that often, you don't really see the work that goes into what happens at the school sites, and that's kind of unfortunate, but hey, that's the work sometimes of admin, right? And so, and as a parent and as a board member and as a community member, you guys have all band together to really pull the district together to where everyone's okay, right? I mean, yeah, we have things going on, but at the end of the day, as a whole, we're doing good. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody for the work that you put in, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for the kids. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. Ms. Cuevas?
I can't, can you guys hear me?
Back and forth with the muting.
Oh,
ahead, Maria.
is that what's going on? Okay. Yes, I also wanted to thank all staff. I do agree that, we all deserve to be acknowledged in some way. Yeah, it was difficult though. I mean, it weighed on me, even though I didn't make any sense of decision last meeting. Just the fact that I had tabled it and maybe possibly giving, that perspective. But I just wanted to really have that conversation and, be heard. But thank you guys for all your work.
Thank you, Ms. Cuevas. One thing
Appreciate
that I
it.
just want to share with the communities and that I learned doing my walkthroughs through our campuses, and this I learned from, our superintendent and her wisdom, was that, as administrators, or as teachers, let me be, as a teacher, you impact the lives of all the students that are in your classroom directly, in that, whether it be 30, 35 students, whatever you have that year. I've been entrusted to educate. But as an administrator, and this is what brought it and opened up my eyes a little bit, was you impact the life of every student within your school. And if as an administrator at a district level, well, the responsibility is even greater because now you have been entrusted to impact and make and do a positive impact and change for the lives of every student in your district. So the only thing that I can say is thank you to my superintendent, but also to every one of you administrators, staff, all of you, because it takes a lot of work to get this noble, work that, you guys are engaged in accomplishing. So thank you. And to look forward to a brighter future working together. So with that, there is a motion on the table that's been moved by Ms. Flores, second by myself. May I get a roll call on the vote, please?
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Trustee Cuevas,
Yes.
Trustee Flores,
Yes.
Trustee Ayon,
Yes.
and Trustee Daniel.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to 15.3, approval of a 2.5 pay increase to the certificated management pupil support services salary schedule retroactive July 1st, 2020. Can I get a motion, please? So moved by Mr. Lopez, second by Ms. Flores. Bring it for discussion.
I just had one question. This is different than the salary for 15.4. Did anybody move over? Oh, it was, I found it.
Found it?
Occupational therapist, is what-
Yeah.
That was what moved to 15.4? Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Is it okay?
Yeah,
Give
no,
it a
just
chance.
had that question.
Okay. So any other questions in regards to this item?
No, I would like to see us get another nurse.
Okay, we'll
That's
add
my
to the
comment
list
for
of
that
stuff that we
one.
need to get. Awesome. Okay, so can I get a roll call on the vote, please?
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Trustee Cuevas,
Yes.
Trustee Flores,
Yes.
Trustee Ayon,
Yes.
Trustee Daniel.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes with unanimous consent. Moving on to item 15.4, approval of a new classified management pupil support salary schedule effective July 1st, 2021.
So moved, Daniel?
Second Cuevas?
Okay, any board comments? No? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. 15.5, adoption of resolution number 2021-22-03, sufficiency of textbooks and instructional materials for the 2021-2022 school year. Can I get a motion, please?
So move, Araceli.
Moved by Ms. Flores, second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous approval.
Aye.
Item number 15.6, to ratify the listed contracts entered into by the superintendent on behalf of the district as per board policy 3312 as of September 20th, 2021. Can I get a motion?
I had a question really quick.
Sure.
Move.
That the MOU with are we doing a Korean language program?
We are attempting to partner with the Korean consulate to bring that here. That's something that Dr. Drake brought with him from Illinois.
And who would be, do we have a teacher that's going to facilitate it or?
My understanding, I'm looking at Mr. Soriano and Mr. Ocampo. My understanding is the teacher sponsor would be Ms. Daniel.
Oh, okay. And we're gonna offer behind the wheel training? Oh, no, that's for the bus driver. No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for the bus driver, sorry.
So yes to that too.
So we have a motion moved by Ms. Cuevas, second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous adoption. Item numbers 15 points. Thank you, Dan. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
15.7, approval of the Gonzales High School FFA overnight beyond the 100-mile limit travel request listed events for the 2021-2022 school year. May I get a motion, please?
So moved, Daniel.
Second by Mr. Lopez. All
Move
those in
Cuevas?
Or Ms. Cuevas, you have a question?
Oh, I had
No.
just
Okay,
made a motion.
okay, great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes. Okay. 15.8, approval to enter into behavioral specialist services agreement with Breakthrough Behavioral LLC for the fiscal year 2021-2022. May I get a motion, please?
I have a question. So will they be
Sure.
working with our social workers in addition? Or is it?
They'll be supervised by Ms. Berlin, and they will be assigned to specific students.
Got it.
I also have another question. This is a full-time person that we're gonna have on, at sites?
This is an FTE that we are contracting with, but they don't necessarily need to do all of their job responsibilities on site. So report writing or contributing to IEPs, they may be doing at a location of their choice.
But they're going to be focused on our district full-time?
Yes.
Great. So may I get a motion for this?
So move, Daniel?
Second by? Mr. Lopez, all those in favor? Aye. Any-
I think I'm gonna
Okay.
abstain because my son's in special ed. And so I don't want,
That would be appropriate.
I don't want it to be for
Can I
the
get, okay, great. Can I get a roll call for this, please,
sake of
Monica?
transparency.
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
trustee Cuevas,
She's muted.
trustee Cuevas, unmute, please. Okay, we'll come back to her.
Okay, I hope she says yes.
Trustee Flores,
I'm abstaining or recusing myself.
trustee Ayon,
Yes.
trustee Daniel,
Yes.
Perfect.
and trustee Cuevas.
Okay. But we still have a majority quorum.
We
approval.
have 3-1-1.
Yep.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to item 15.9, approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Korean Education Center, San Francisco, Republic of Korea.
So
Wait.
move, Daniel?
Moved by Ms. Daniel, second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. 15.10, approval to purchase a 15-foot flex winds mower. Can I get a motion?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by
Second,
Ms.
Araceli.
Flores. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. 15.11, miscellaneous personal assignment order number 21-22-17 to authorize hiring of Denise Ramirez as a certified substitute under a variable term waiver request for the 2021-22 school year. Get a
So
motion?
move, Daniel?
Second by?
Araceli.
Second Cuevas?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes. 15.12, miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-18 to authorize a variable term waiver request for Karina Delgado Rodriguez, certificated substitute during the 21-22 school year. Get a motion, please.
Motion, Daniel?
Second by?
Second Cuevas?
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent. 15.13, miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-19 to authorize hiring of Karina Delgado Rodriguez as a certificated substitute under a variable term waiver request for the 21-22 school year. Get a motion, please.
Motion, Daniel?
Second by
Second Cuevas?
Ms. Cuevas. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes. 15.14, miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-20 to authorize a variable term waiver request for Roger Ramos, certificated substitute during the 2021-22 school year. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Passes. 15.15, miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-21 to authorize hiring of Roger Ramos as a certificated substitute under a variable term waiver request for the 21-22 school year. May I get a motion?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by?
Second Cuevas?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes. 15.16, miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-22 to authorize a variable term waiver request for for Clarissa Rios Cortez, physical education teacher during the 21-22 school year. May I get a motion, please?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by Mr.
Second,
Lopez.
Cuevas.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes with unanimous consent.
School district.
Yes, welcome. 15.17 miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-23 to authorize hiring of Clarissa Rios Cortez as a physical education teacher at Fairview Middle School under a variable term waiver request for the 21-22 school year. May I get a motion?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by Mr. Lopez. All those in favor?
I'm sorry, just, that's the same as the previous one, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the same teacher
Is this-
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's for the waiver, one's for the higher.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You
Yeah,
explained it?
yeah.
Okay, yes. Great. Sounds good. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Passes. 15.18 miscellaneous personal assignment order number 21-22-24 to authorize a variable term waiver request for Vanessa Perez, certificated substitute during the 21-22 school year. Can I get a motion?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by
Second,
Mr.
Cuevas.
Lopez. Oh, Ms. Cuevas. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Passes. 15.19 miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-25 to authorize hiring of Vanessa Perez as a certificated substitute under a variable term waiver request for the 21-22 school year. May I get a motion, please?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by?
Araceli.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes. 15.20 miscellaneous personnel assignment order number 21-22-16 to authorize a variable term waiver request for Denise Ramirez, certificated substitute during the 21-22 school year. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by
Second, Cuevas.
Ms. Cuevas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes.
Aye.
Moving on to item number 16, consent agenda items. Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on by the Board of Trustees in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board action unless a member of the board, staff, or public requests specific items be discussed or removed from the consent agenda. It is understood that the administration recommends approval of all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted and recommended. So can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Motion, Daniel?
Second by,
Araceli.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Perfect. All items in the consent agenda have been approved. Moving on to governing board comments, 17.1 governing team comments. And I'll begin with Mr. Ayon.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that parents really take advantage of the learning loss mitigation strategies that we have with after-school tutoring, with 4.0 Saturday 4.0 Academy, and with Apex. We've had a D and F problem. I don't know if it's a problem, but well, it is a problem. A lot of kids get Ds and Fs in this school, so I don't know how to characterize it. But you know, I think that we are focusing on this now, and I think with the help of the parents and the students, we can really go far in addressing that. Getting a D or an F doesn't really help anybody. Doesn't help the student. More importantly, you know, and we want our kids to learn the classes that they're taking and to achieve at least a C, in my opinion, because that shows that they're learning, right? A D or an F, you know, it's not ideal, and I think that sometimes we all need a little bit more help or more time, and I really do want to encourage parents to talk with their kids if they receive one of these letters that are going out pretty soon. Because normally if a kid, in my experience, is getting Ds and Fs, unless something changes, they're going to continue to get Ds and Fs. So of course, it's good that we identify this, but it's also good that we work to better it, right? To offer them those resources, And sometimes it's, maybe it's not academic, right? It could be social emotional support. Could be all types of different reasons why a kid is not succeeding. I think the challenge of a school is to find out what those reasons are and offer them programs to address them. So I really do hope that parents take advantage of all the services that are offered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
I wanted to thank all of the parents and community members who have reached out and have been super, super flexible. Teaching during the day. I've only had like my lunchtime or sometimes after 6 o'clock. And a lot of the community has been very flexible. So thank you. And if I haven't got back to you yet, please be patient. There was a lot that I know people had to say. And thank you to my family for being flexible as well, because they know that's a priority for me. I also wanted to thank our district nurse and staff. I know we had a student who had a situation. So having a student who also has a 504, I know it's very hard to determine when somebody needs medical attention. To a layman, it may be nothing. I've even had my own sister-in-law who said, yeah, I said, no, she's having a reaction, so she needs her meds. So to our fast acting staff at our sites and our district nurse, which also led me to say she's, we need some more, we need another nurse on site, because I know how important that is to have that there. And I think that's all my comments.
Thank you. Ms. Flores?
So I just want to thank the student board members. I did meet with them last week, and starting kind of the routine of last year where we have once a month visits, and just kind of getting to know them a little and getting to see where their heads are at in regards to what projects they want to take on, what's concerning, what they're hearing, and then allowing them a platform to ask questions and seek guidance. And so they both agreed that they'd like to have that happen once a month. And so I welcome my fellow board members to let me know if you want to be a part of that. I know that some of you guys know these kids on a personal level. So you already have contact with them, but this is going to be kind of like a official board to student board members. So if you're interested, let me know, because I'm going to plan it for once a month. And I do want to tell Sonia, yes, I have you in mind. I will send you an email to schedule the CSEA collab, and we'll ask my board members who wants to jump on what month when I get that meeting started. I also want to report that there is a best practices and guidelines for communication and social media given by MCOE on October 4th at 6. And I will send that information to Monica, so she can send that out to you guys. And then lastly, I really want to say how happy I am to hear that School Site Council at La Gloria has like 150 nominations. Everyone knows I'm big on School Site Council. I say it mostly all the time. It is imperative for parents who really come here asking questions about their sites. If you really want to be involved in the process of making decisions for sites, School Site Councils are where you want to really start, because you learn about budgets, you learn about how titles work, you really learn the bureaucracy of sites and how this beautiful district really functions. And so I was very happy to hear that, and I will continue to really encourage parents and everybody, because it's open to everybody, right? Yeah, so everybody, if you're hearing me, go to a School Site Council. If you've got suggestions for the high school, the middle school, the new school, go to your School Site Councils. You can make a difference there by giving your opinions and whatnot. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cuevas.
Good evening, everyone. I don't count me in on any meetings you want to have with our student council, with anyone. Count me in. I also the students. I had a walkthrough a couple weeks ago at Fairview, and I just did last week with La Gloria and the high school. And all the students, they greet our principals, vice principals, even at the high school, Mr. Soriano, he knows these kids like first name. I'm like, wow, that's amazing, from not really being able to meet them in person for a whole year. And it was just really nice to see. And I just want to let you guys know that I really, really appreciate that. I think that's really important. And I also, I've been attending a few of the sports, middle school and high school, and I've seen admin there. Mr. Malagon was there in Soledad, just making sure that, some of the students that were there and our athletes were behaving and everything went smoothly. So I just want to give you guys a kudos that as a parent, I really appreciate that support. But other than that, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys.
Thank you. And again, just briefly, thank you to everybody, to our superintendent and all her staff and all our teachers, staff, anybody that's involved in the education of our young people here in Gonzales. Thank you for all the work you do. It's a really good work you do. So with that, can I get the next thing on the agenda is future agenda items, please?
Maybe just a continued agenda item regarding WASC.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I asked that last time, but we didn't get it. I asked for a WAS update last time.
Yeah, just,
I did, we were gonna think, but there were too many things going on.
yeah.
So WASC was also specifically assigned to the Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Which we just got, we're gonna have to reschedule it because Terry Vigil, she had a death in her family.
Oh.
And so we need to reschedule that.
okay.
That was coming in the next item.
Yeah, so we have to look at our weekends again, see which Saturday works for us.
Okay.
I have a couple.
Sure, go
Unless-
ahead, Cesar.
Maria would like to go first?
No, go ahead.
She's muted. Go
Yeah.
first.
Okay. Yeah, I think I keep bringing up the fact that we have physical books. I think it's so last century. We are already 21 years into this century, and we have the capacity and ability to have a better system. Digitization of books, I'm mispronouncing it, but you guys know what I mean. Being able to access your book online. Everybody here has a phone. I know, well, I could
Plus
pretty
our
much.
students have Chromebooks now too, so.
Yeah, they have Chromebooks, right? Especially after going through what we did through COVID, the kids were forced to get their information online. I think that regressing, in my idea, and in my opinion, it is regressing from going to online to now like having to carry all these heavy books. And we got little kids. We got a girl on the tennis team. She's under 100 pounds, right? We're expecting her to carry 30 pounds of books. I just don't know how that makes sense. It
So is
really
that an agenda item you want to put on?
We'll put it on for future discussion.
Yeah, for future discussion, yeah, because it's something that I think we need to address. And I understand there's complexities to it, and it's not a button that we turn on, turn off, but it's a process, and I really would like that process to begin.
Electronic books.
And then the other thing that I would also like to have a process on, and this one is probably a little bit more controversial, is graduation requirements. I think we should have a graduation requirements task force. This is from the one-on-one meeting that I had with Yvette, because this issue keeps coming up, year after year. I remember when I was sitting over there, I would give public comment, basically saying, hey, if a kid is a freshman and gets a D in every class until they're a senior, they graduate. They graduate. A D is full credit. So we have a 1.0. In that sense, you can say we have a 1.0 graduation requirement. That's shocking. To play sports, you need a 2.0. So as a parent, you're actually hoping your kid plays sports, right? Because if they don't, they just need a 1.0. That's, I think we need to address that. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, it needs to be addressed.
So graduation requirements for the
I
future.
have one more thing to add, was if we can address a grading standard for.
So can I chime in there? So the board will actually be receiving an invitation to a study session led by Joe Feldman, who is working with the high school to look at equity and grading. And he'll be giving you an overview of historical context and then also implications at our high school and next steps.
So that's what I'm saying. So we don't run into what we ran into at the end of the last school year and say, oh, well, some teachers were grading this way, some teachers were grading that way. so
Alignment,
that we-
right?
Yeah, that we have alignment in gradings for subject matters. and
Which is
grade
part of
levels.
what our
Mhm.
WASC pointed
Yeah.
out, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we have the grading consultant.
So when will that study session be? Do you know?
We're confirming dates for late November, December.
Okay.
After the annual, the CSBA meeting probably, right? Because it's the first weekend or first couple of days. in December.
It's
So we can
December.
put it in place before, only just because that's already gonna run into the first
Week of-
semester grading period.
Well, he's working with the school, getting him on a board calendar is where we're running.
But he's already on campus working with the staff here.
He's already done a
Oh, okay, that's
professional development with staff.
great. That's important. Just getting him on to meet with us.
Yes, he's coming specifically to do a study session with the board.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other, Maria, do you have any?
No, thank you. I was actually more focused on the WASC and us having a conversation.
Ms. Flores?
So if I can just give the board an update specific to the 10/28 meeting.
Mhm.
At that time, a representative from Lozano Smith will be coming to present on redistricting and bringing a resolution for the board to review as well as a timeline. The preliminary data from the census is in county now. And so the demographers are also going to calendar 2 pre-map meetings to give the information out to the public. And there will be a timeline in terms of what the proposed meeting schedule is with the board around redistricting. The other thing for the board to remember is December 14th is our organizational meeting. That is also a pretty full agenda.
Can we make sure that for the 10/28 meeting, redistricting like the Chular community, and I know I've tried many times to reach out to their board president, and we just haven't we haven't been successful in speaking to each other, so I don't know, maybe
I'll talk
through
with
your,
Roberto Rios.
through your channels as superintendent to superintendent, if it can be worked out. Yeah. And the reason behind that to the communities, ultimately, we get their eighth graders become our high school students. So it's important that their, goals, LCAP goals, and vision and mission line up with ours as well, because their students become our students. So we need to be on the same page.
Do we have a meeting set for our next joint with the city?
Renee and I discussed that last week, and that date will be forthcoming. It'll probably be November.
Sounds good. Thank you. Moving on then to future meeting dates, 17.3. So with there we have the,
That one got canceled.
You've got the
October 2nd on that. It's gonna be-
October 2nd is being rescheduled, and Terry has asked if the board would consider a 4 to 8 on a weeknight. So Monica is forwarding a doodle. Then we have the meeting of October 12th, October 26th, November 9th. Thank you, Monica. I forgot. November 9th will be a review of the architect proposals that the board has received.
we'll make the selection then for the
Yes, you'll make the
architect.
selection of the architect at that time. And then the
Exciting.
14th is our organizational meeting.
So to the community out there, parents, if you guys want to have an input on the architect, please show up to that meeting or reach one of us. We have the potential candidates there.
So that parents understand, though, there is no design attached to the school. The board is reviewing a proposal which has to do with finance, licensing, and personnel.
Perfect. Yes, there you go. Exactly
We don't
that.
have pictures of the building.
I love her. She keeps me out of trouble. Anyhow, with that, can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion, Araceli.
Second
by
Cuevas?
Ms. Cuevas, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned at 8:40 PM. Thank you, everyone, and have a safe drive home.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you for coming out.